Welcome, Tuesday Live. As promised, I will be coming live to you every day, and I will stop moving on this camera because it's doing that flashy thing again. But apologies if you hear any singing. It won't be me. It will be my plaster who loves to sing song. He's above, so he might get noisy a bit of time, and some occasions he might get a bit noisy. That's what I'm trying to say. Struggling with words today. But yeah, it's a bit chaotic in here. So storm is over. So Plaster managed to get here today. He's got one more day after today. He's not going to make it tomorrow. There's an even bigger storm coming in. So I think the trains are going to be off again. So he's going to be coming tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow, Thursday, and then hopefully done. But the cooker has arrived. So yeah, it's like every time you try to get into your flow, something else happens. But yeah, I wanted to come on today and talk about us and alcohol and our relationship with alcohol, my own experience around alcohol, and you can pop in the comments what your view is, whether you're drinking, not drinking. You might be doing dry account. Oh my god, you might be doing dry January. You might be doing that. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and open up the conversation around our habits around alcohol in society. Because for me personally, I've always been known as somebody who enjoys a drink. I've always been someone who's been like, oh, you hold your drink really well. I've never been a wine drinker. It's been vodka and Coke for me, which meant quite a lot of time in corporate world you're discriminated against, and they'd be like, oh, you can't have vodka, that's a hard drink. Meanwhile, everyone else online is completely smashed. But yeah, so I've been around alcohol a lot of my life. I think back in the 80s was when wine became a big thing in the UK. Like, you used to get like Blue Nun and things like that, and then it just exploded. The wine market just exploded. And one of my clients actually went on like a kind of alcohol course. Not that she had a drinking problem as such, but she wanted to take the challenge of not drinking for a year. And she's now done that. So she's not been drinking for a year. And one of the things I said to her, what was your kind of biggest takeaway? And she was like, how much the marketing industry targeted women, how they targeted women, and how successfully they did that. So in terms of going out for women, if you think about it, the fruity ciders, the rosy wines, the lifestyle, it's the summer, we're going out with the girls, the afternoon teas, the champagne cocktails, and they've done it really successfully. And the second thing she highlighted was around she couldn't believe the relationship between alcohol and disease, like cancers, stomach cancers, throat cancers, breast cancers, all those things, and that these people have gone targeted women very successfully, and all the diseases that are associated with drinking. But yet here we are all still drinking. Now, this is not me preaching going don't drink, don't drink. This is me being true about my experience of where I am currently with alcohol. I'm not saying I won't ever drink again. I don't know, I might fancy a drink, but it's about opening up the conversation and sharing my experience. So as I just mentioned, I pretty much grew up around alcohol, particularly kind of early to late teens, and just been in the household, my family drinking. And family events are always around alcohol, like celebrations are around alcohol. I mean, I've been to kids' parties where everyone's drinking. I think me and my husband were the only ones not drinking because one, he was driving, two, I just wasn't fast. And I think it's a kids' party. Like, why are people drinking alcohol at a kids' party, right? It might be to get through it, but hey, it's kind of like what you surround yourself with, right? And one of the things that I stopped doing, well, I was drinking on Boxing Day, I'm not going to lie, I am a bah humbug with Christmas, so there was probably, I'm conscious that there's a poll coming in my head, so just in case anyone, why did you got a poll coming in your head? But yeah, so I was saying, yeah, so families, sometimes they do push your buttons, right? So you might really need to have a drink, partly one, just to get through the family event. Secondly, it might be the pressure of why are you not having a drink? Oh, I get that. Why are you not having a drink? Why are you being boring? All the rest of it. And it has been over a period of time that I have reduced my drinking out of choice, but also because we build a societal image of ourselves, picture of ourselves. So people around us have to adjust to change as well. So if you are someone people associate with always drinking, having a drink, they might find it a bit weird. Also, people like company. It's that whole thing. There's really like company. People like company. So typically, people won't like to drink on their own because they'll feel guilty, or they'll feel like they're maybe not as good as you, or as healthy as you, or it's some sort of reflection on them. So they tend to gravitate then towards people who do drink versus yourself who maybe doesn't want to drink. Now that's a reflection on them, but it does mean you might have some friends who might disappear, might part the ways. But I do think we are getting to a better place in terms of being able to say no to alcohol and people accepting that. But I also know working with clients, I'm not talking about young clients, I'm talking here clients 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus, who still struggle to say no to alcohol, people accept it. And whilst we've got the introduction of the zero alcohol gins and so forth, it's still a struggle at parties or book clubs. Even book clubs seem to be a big one for drinking, or book clubs to say no or be the person that pours a drink and control it. So we are very much still in that way that societal pressure around events and alcohol is a big thing. And I think the strategies that you can employ around it. So I just mentioned the zero alcohol. So zero alcohol ones like Jenny, you might think, oh, they're really expensive. Well, the truth is the reason they're expensive is because the alcohol is actually the cheap part. All the other ingredients that go, say, into a gin, a vodka, a wine, whatever it may be, is expensive. The alcohol is the cheap part. And that's where you use zero ones cost a lot of money, because actually it's alcohol that's a cheap product. Go figure, right? So you've got these zeros, you've got different, you can go for ginger beer, different options, a tonic and lime, different things that you can have that still makes it feel like you're part of the social group and you're not sticking out so much. Now you may be, I don't care. I don't care. People can say whatever. That's great, but that's not the majority, right? It's not the majority. A lot of people feel uncomfortable or made to be feel uncomfortable from other people pushing drink, have a drink, have a drink, have another one, go and just have another one. And it's about you doing what's right for you. And I think that takes a lot. It takes a lot of courage, right? It's like that 20 seconds of courage. The 20 seconds of courage to say, no, I'm not having a drink, and sticking with that. And when people, oh, you want a drink? I'll have this or I'll have that. Now, in some occasions for me, it's easy because I'll go and it's just wine and I don't drink wine, so it's not a big thing. Other occasions, obviously, if it's generally like a bar or a restaurant, then you can opt for mocktails. Mocktails or different soft drinks is also another option. Now, you might be like, oh, but they cost a lot of money. But as I just mentioned, alcohol is a cheap bet. So it's really about finding the tactics for you that are going to work for you. Now, if you're someone who's like, oh, Julie, whatever, boring, like, oh, want alcohol, good time, helps me relax, you got to look at your strategies. So I just mentioned strategies around kind of zero alcohol options, but what's your strategies around a different habit? So if you use alcohol to relax, then you need to look at something different to help you relax, because the truth is that initial drink will help you relax, but after that, your body's wired. It's functioning on, and that anxiety of a busy brain. If you know you have a drink and yes, it initially relaxes you on the outside, but on the inside, your brain is racing, thinking, planning. And initially, you might get to sleep when you've had a drink, and then bing, you're wide awake in the middle of the night, thinking about all the things you need to do or the things you're worrying about. So, what's your strategies to help you relax? It doesn't involve alcohol. It could be reading a book, having a bath. And quite a lot of time I spoke about recently, finding what you used to enjoy before life took over, before work took over. What are the things you used to do? Like, what brings out that inner kind of child in you? Like it might be painting, it might be actually having a little go-kart and race car, whatever it might be. What's the thing that brings a smile to you? I've got a little trampoline, it's another room now, and just jumping up and down that for like literally a minute just brings out that inner child fun that makes you laugh, makes you smile. So what are the things that you can do to replace alcohol being a relaxant for you? Like I say, it might be having a bath. It might be actually having a tea instead, a hot, soothing drink. So what's your association with alcohol and how can you replace that? So it's not doing away with it and having nothing at all. It's going, well, what can I do to replace that with a healthier habit that serves me? And again, you might be in that place and say, well, actually, alcohol serves me. I'm good with that. And if that's where you are, that's fine. But one of the questions I asked myself was, why do I need alcohol? What does it give me? And actually, the truth is nothing. It doesn't give me anything. Does it relax me? No. It gives me busy brain. Am I going to be feeling good and energized the next day? No. It's going to strip my energy. Is it going to make me more tolerant to people? Yes, but that's not the right answer for me. The answer is, if I'm going to be up, because otherwise you've been drinking all day and night, and that's a different issue altogether. So it's that whole thing about who I choose to spend my time with, people who lift me up, people I feel good, people where I can feel like I can say no to alcohol if I don't want to drink. If I want one, I want one. If I don't, I don't. And it's that thing about, why do you need it? Why are you justifying having alcohol? Because that's what it is a lot of the time. It's excuses and justification as to why you're having alcohol. And again, I'm not preaching to you. I'm just posing that question. And it can be quite a difficult question for some people. Is why do you need it? And if you're like, I need it to relax, well, what else can you do around relaxing? If you're like, it's a reward, I work hard, I deserve it. Absolutely, you work hard, but actually, what is a reward that's going to benefit you and lift you up? Initially, the alcohol might lift you up, but I guarantee you the next day and the day after, you're going to feel shitty and low energy. So, actually, what reward can you change it up to be? Put the money towards a sports massage. Not everyone wants a sports massage, I know. Put it towards a massage, buy yourself a bunch of flowers, get away on a day, a fancier restaurant meal. Maybe, instead of getting yourself a sirloin steak, you get a fillet steak. Use the money for other experiences. Stop associating alcohol with reward, because the truth is it's not a reward. Yes, it might feel like it because you've got that association, but if it's taking you away from your weight loss goals, if it's taking you away from your healthy living goals, if it's taking you away from having the energy to do the things you want to do, then 100% it isn't a reward. So flip that around and change what reward looks like for you. What would a reward mean when you're living your healthiest, best life? What would reward mean for something that actually you think, oh, this feels great, I'd love to do this? What's the thing you're denying yourself? Because as females would do this, denying yourself because you're like, oh, it costs money. Females, we will always invest in holidays, a house, other people before ourselves. So the chances are you're happy to go to the wine aisle, spend X amount of money on wine, and then share that with other people. But when it comes to spending something on yourself as a reward, the chances are that you don't do that. So think about your association with reward. So if you're having alcohol as a reward, how can you change that to be a reward? What is it you've been holding up doing for yourself? It might be getting your nails done. It might be actually that you want a facial, but you stop yourself getting it. So a facial could be what, I'm going to guess here, 35, 45, 50 pounds, something in that region. How much alcohol are you drinking a week that could cover the cost of that? So yeah, really about changing your association with reward and habit, and relaxation and habit. Okay, so think about healthy habits you can build around that. Okay, so that's 2 reasons I've come up with possibly why you'd want alcohol. What else? Distress, just like tolerate people. Maybe you're thinking, I've had a hard day, so it's not necessarily a reward, but you just need to get through. You're using it to get through to the weekend. You're using it because maybe you've got a family occasion, as I mentioned, and you're drinking to tolerate the people in your family and get through it. Now, I hear you. That is my biggest challenge. But again, that time spent with family and drinking and tolerating to get through it, where does that lead you to? What are you going to feel like for your energy the next day and the day after? So rather than short-term comfort, think about long-term, about putting yourself first. So rather than to fit in and tolerate family having those drinks that you don't want to drink, don't want to have, think about, well, what can I do for long-term? I'm going to be an observer. Stand back if family does whatever it might be work events. Stand back and just observe people. All right, this is where you can kind of make it a bit more interesting than if you're drinking. Stand back, observe people. What is it you see happening when they're having 1 glass, 2 glass? What is it that comes out in them? What is it you can see in their insecurities, their pain? Understand humans. It's about understanding humans. Why do they behave the way that they do? Why is it maybe they're having a bit of dig at you about not drinking because actually they need a drink to feel comfortable in a social setting? And this is not about you being nasty towards people. This is just about understanding human behavior and separating yourself so that you know you don't need a drink in social events or family events. You can tolerate them. You're going to do something afterwards to lift you up. But use those occasions just to look at human behaviors. I find it fascinating. Step back, look at human behaviors and see what's going on with people. A lot of people are struggling in the world, and this is not about you fixing them, but it's allowing yourself to step back and go, do you know what? I am actually in a good place. I don't feel the need to have alcohol to tolerate people. I don't feel the need to have alcohol for social anxiety. So I'm going to take that away, be there as an observer, and be grateful for the self-development journey I'm on. Because that's where I've been, right? I've been on a big journey in the past 9 years, from 35 hours in corporate, spending all my life at work, to being a size 18 plus, not having breakfast, living off full sugar Coke, ready meals, drinking alcohol every evening in the weekends. I've been in that place and I've changed my life over the past 8-9 years. So it takes time to get to that place, and not everyone is ever going to get to that place or necessarily wants to. Some people are quite happy living the life they're living, whether you agree with it or not, but you don't have to lower yourself down to partake in those activities if that's not what's serving you. So really think about understanding yourself. Think about, what is it that's driving me to drink alcohol? Is it serving me, or am I doing it just to keep the peace? Keep the Peace is a great example of that. But actually, it's about you setting your boundaries and going, this is not working for me, so therefore I'm not going to have a drink. And what I'm going to do instead is sit back, be an observer of people's behaviors and bad habits, and just go, that's interesting. That's interesting. Because actually, understanding those people will help you understand your relationship with them and understand where you need to set boundaries. So you're like, whoa, Julia, I thought this was just about us and alcohol, but it's deep, right? It is deep. The reason, alcohol, gives people that false energy. It gives people that false sense of relaxation. It gives people that false confidence. It gives people that false numbness. That's what you're doing. You're numbing yourself to the world. Ultimately, it is a drug, and we use it to numb our emotions, numb our feelings, and create that false environment of joy and fun. And I see it on a lot of people's social media. So they're like, "Way shots, out for a drink, out for a drink." And I know people who in the background don't want to go out for a drink. For why? Because they're trying to go for an IVF journey. They don't want to drink because it's not where they want to be with their weight loss, but they feel pressured into it, and they feel like their social circle will no longer be there if they stop drinking. And that may well be the case, but it's putting yourself first and your health and go, why is it I have alcohol? What does it do for me? And really get deep in that. And you're like, oh, it relaxes me, but does it? Like, really question that. And if you're like, oh, it's my reward, is it really? Like, how do you feel after you have a drink? How do you feel the next day and the day after? And if you're honestly not sure, start tuning into it. Just tune into it. How's your energy? How do you feel? And like I say, it's not me preaching to you. It's me being honest about the journey I've been on and why I've got to a place where I've not had a drink since Boxing Day. Like I say, I've not made a big announcement of that. I'm not doing dry January. Really struggle to say that. And I'm not counting days. It's just something that I've gone, actually, it doesn't work for me. I just don't fancy it. Don't want to waste my money on it. I don't want to waste my energy on it. I'm just not vibing with it right now. And like I said, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to have one in the future. It's just where I'm at right now. So there you have it. Us and alcohol. It is a big societal challenge, but it's really about you and how you see your relationship with alcohol. Does it work for you? Does it not? Where is it going in terms of your healthy living? Where is it going in terms of you being stronger, fitter, healthier? Is it taking you away from that goal? Is it moving towards it? And reviewing all your habits around alcohol and looking at replacing them with more positive ones. So what would be a reward instead of alcohol for you? Yeah, what would be relaxing for you instead of alcohol? What would be interesting at a party or a family function than you numbing yourself with alcohol to tolerate and get through the event? So really just zone out on that one. Zone out, take a little step back and think about what you can do to change your habits, behaviors, your associations around alcohol, and where you want to be. It is a total personal decision. And yeah, just notice who are your people who push it on you and go, hey, just have one, just have one. And if they say to you, oh, you're boring, why not have a drink? My response has been, I don't need to have a drink to have fun. And their response might be, as I've had before, well, I need one. Well, that's on you. That's your thing. It's not for me. So it's not about us passing judgment. It's just about us developing awareness of our own habits and associations around alcohol and where it is and isn't serving us and making decisions on the back of that. All right, team. Hope that was helpful. Like I said, we'll be coming to you live every day, Monday to Friday. Well, every day of the week, Monday to Friday, with different topics and just opening up the chat, sharing my experiences, my journey in terms of where I've come with different things. And for this week, it was coming up around the alcohol side. I wanted to talk about it on Saturday, but I'll be honest, I was so busy on Saturday with house DIY stuff that I never got around to it, but I really wanted to cover it off. Anyway, if you're doing dry January, good luck with that. Hope it is going well, but think about what you can do beyond January to maintain that and tune into what worked for you. Why and how did you feel better, and all those good things that'll come from it. And if you're struggling, if you're like, I still like a glass of two, again, just review that relationship as we covered. And as always, any questions about anything nutrition wise, lifestyle, fitness, or life coaching, drop into my DMs. I'm always available to help you. All right, team, take care, and I will see you tomorrow.